This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group. This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
This is the Blue Man Group.
Welcome, everybody. My name's Ron Ecstasy, and this is Blue Man Group. It's a podcast, as you may know. I hope you know. You're in your podcast app. But I'm here with my two co-hosts. That voice you just heard is John Biedron.
Hi, everyone.
And the other voice that you haven't heard yet is Devin Welsh.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, my God. Well, we are here. We've battled adversity to record this. We were like, do we record at 5 a.m.? Do we record at 5:30 a.m.?
Do the people want us to record? Do
We
the
were
people
gonna-
try to stop us?
We were gonna skip
Yeah.
a week because there's
Yeah.
life comes up and just things get complicated. But we're not skipping a week.
Yeah.
But guess what?
doing
We're
it.
not. We're here, and we're in your ears, and we're going to deliver to you some incredible news that has come across our desk.
It's a big week.
It's a huge week.
We
I
really
will
couldn't
say
take
that.
a break. I mean, the news doesn't
Exactly.
stop, and
I think
it would be a disservice to you guys if we stopped.
this is
For even a
probably
moment.
this is probably one of the biggest weeks of news ever. I don't mean to make the front end of this show so heavy with that news, but listen, it is. So let's get right into it with our first segment, This Week in History.
June 3rd, 1965.
Get back in. Okay. I don't know. We're coming over the west end. They want you to come back in now.
Astronaut Ed White becomes the first American to walk in space during the Gemini 4 mission.
Ed White. Do we
Ed
know
White.
Ed White? Do we
White.
know this man?
I didn't know
He's
his
a
name.
Spacewalker. He's just
I've met
walking in
multiple.
space.
I've met multiple Americans named Ed White. One
Really?
is a father and one is a son. But it is a common
Yes.
American name, I think.
Well-
and so it's a fitting name for the first American to spacewalk, to walk in
Yeah.
space, i.e., float in space.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
'cause you
say,
can't
is
actually
there really
walk up
walking going on? Yeah.
No,
In the
it's-
ground.
It's like poetic license, I think. NASA's really adamant about doing that kind of stuff. It's a very poetic institution, actually. And Ed White was, I don't know how long he was out there. Let's say 15 minutes. I'm just making a wild guess.
It says it was a 4-day mission.
Well, in the video, they keep telling him to come back in. They keep saying the video's like,
I know.
come back in, Ed. Come on, come back in.
Yeah.
And
Come
I
on.
think
It's kind of like,
actually,
Yeah,
I
go
love
on.
this story. I chose this story because I really love the spacewalk, and I think if I remember correctly, they had to encourage him to come back in because he was so enthralled by the experience that he didn't want to come back in.
Yeah.
one
The
of
reason it's
those
called
rare-
the spacewalk.
Sorry, one of
Is
those rare
because-
moments where, such a kind of regimented, rationalized process of spaceflight, and of going out in space, everything has to
Yep.
be perfect. If you make one mistake, you're in space. You're gonna die. But and so it's these very rare occasions where the astronaut can just kind of get lost in the moment and enjoy the mystical experience of spacewalking.
Right, like he forgot his time was like accounted for. It was like,
Yeah.
and then Ed will be sort of lost in the grandeurs of the curve of the universe for about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then
they
we need to
build
bring
that
him
in.
back in because we have some studies to do.
Yeah.
yeah. I heard that he
factored
lost
in-
his watch. I heard
Right.
he lost his watch.
Well, it runs differently up there.
Yeah,
It does.
Um,
And he's just on this rope, essentially. I don't know. It's probably a NASA rope, a space rope. And they just kind of send him out there. Yep, they had a tough time bringing him back in. It's like a fish
Well,
that
that's-
won't,
Yeah.
it's putting up a fight. He's like
Or
he's like a trout.
Or it's like the spacewalk because they call it the walk even though he's floating because it's sort of like when toddlers begin walking for the first time and then they like get really proud of themselves and then they start walking towards the road and they look back at you And you're like, okay, that's close enough. And then they keep going. And they like want to walk into the street.
Yeah, right. Ed, no, that's the sun. Don't go.
Yeah.
No, Ed, come back. Yeah, NASA had to shorten the space rope after
The
this
leash.
Ed White incident because it was a bit too much. Because when
Well,
they were
that's-
like, Ed, come back,
Yeah.
he's like, I can't hear you. I don't have a watch. all of his excuses were just like, all right, what do we do? We need a shorter rope.
Right. Well, now that's why all NASA flights, they have the retractable astronaut leash. So you press a button and
Right.
it pulls the slack in. So you
Yeah.
make sure you can pull them away from danger or the sun. Or
Yeah, and
whatever.
it won't hurt the astronaut's neck either. It's,
Right. No, yeah,
it's,
exactly.
It's
But so
made
the
for
space
that.
the spacewalk was kind of it was the first time that an astronaut floats off held only by a tether, and that's pretty scary stuff when you think about it. You're only held by
Yeah,
this rope.
it's
Who built the
terrifying.
rope, and can you count on it? But then
Yeah.
but I just have to mention that there was further progress yet made in this direction, where Bruce McCandless, another NASA
Excuse
astronaut,
me.
was the first to do an untethered spacewalk using something called the
Right.
manned maneuvering unit, which essentially is like
Wow.
uses thrusters to guide him in certain directions. So he was the first person to just float off with this piece of machinery, and he did
That's
make
so
it
wild.
back.
Bruce,
and so-
come back.
Yeah.
It's like the batteries
Yeah.
were out when he like lets go.
Yeah, I
forgot to,
know
like,
exactly.
check
Oh,
to
I
see
forgot
if
to
it had,
charge
like
it.
power. Oh fuck. Yeah.
Yeah,
It says here
I'm
that
a-
Ed White used an oxygen-propelled gun called the handheld maneuvering unit to propel himself as well. So it's
Nice.
maybe it's like an early prototype or whatever. But I like
Yeah.
the idea of it being. It's like holding hands. It's like don't go out too far, you know.
Yeah, and then once
Fun.
you let them
Come
go
back
out
in.
without the tether, then you really have to trust up here in their head whether they're going to keep
Yeah.
it together. Because once they
And
float
up
off,
here.
then it's like, hey, McCandless, like, come on. And then it's like, no, I don't want to.
I don't want to come back.
Okay, what
Which
do we
is
do now?
That could be a real issue for NASA, and that's not going to be good for NASA having a press conference where they're like, we lost a guy. He's still alive, but we lost him. He's just
Yeah.
floating in space.
Wow. Okay. Whoa. I'm on the Ed White's Wikipedia, and there's a quote from the mission, and it was it's
Come
him
back
like
in, Ed.
talking while he's re-entering. They're telling him to come back in, and he goes, "I'm coming back in." ... And it's the saddest moment of my life.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
You're
believe
messing
it
with
too.
some
Well,
heavy stuff when you.
That must have been the closest
that.
you get to like re-entering the womb or something. Just,
Yeah.
like, on that tether
Yeah.
floating.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to. Is Ed White still around? Can we get him on the pod? Can we talk to him about this?
I don't think he's
Did he-
around anymore.
And he's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Ed. We hope you're doing well in outer space. Excuse me. All right, so let's move along. We come back. Come back in. Ed is kind of the theme of this show. Come on back in the module. Let's get into the meat patty of the news. This is what's in the news. It's probably more the meat patty of the show than it is the meat patty of the news, but whatever.
That's okay.
All right. We have a headline here that is very concerning to me just in terms of what has been going on in the world. It's been a confusing year.
Yeah. This is a
And
troubling story.
There's a lot of things that need to be done. A lot of people need a lot of help right now, myself included. But this headline is Senators Braun, Daines, Lankford's amendment to outlaw animal-human hybrids receives vote on Senate floor.
Chilling stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is
So
something we
I don't-
didn't expect.
Yeah, I know. Some people were saying third stimulus check in the United
Yeah.
States. Some other things, but
Well,
listen,
yeah.
Senate's doing something else right now. They're busy, and there's a vote. Senator Mike Braun, Senator Steve Daines, and Senator James Lankford's amendment to the Endless Frontier Act that would make it a crime to engage in chimera research or the creation of chimera. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. To the creation of animal-human hybrid organisms received a vote on the Senate floor tonight.
This is a really bad time for me because I just bought a lot of alchemical transformation and transmogrification books, materials. I was going to start a lot of research into this new exciting field of science.
Yeah. I was telling everyone that the Animorphs is basically what's going to happen in the next few years. Oh my, I need to eat my words.
Well, I feel like actually this might be part of the Animorphs run-up, because I feel like it's illegal to be an Animorph in that book series. I haven't read them.
True.
But I imagine it's kind of an X-Men thing where they're like outlawed and they're kind of underground.
Yeah, and maybe this is somewhat of a dialectical precursor to, the inevitable animal-human hybrids that will exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this legislation was introduced by Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey, a very plain name. Sounds like it could be anyone, truly, Chris Smith, and he's in the U.S. House of Representatives. So chimera, is that how you say it? Chimera?
Chimera, yeah.
Chimera, okay. Damn, that's so weird for me. It's an organism that contains cells from two distinct species, such as an animal-human hybrid. They keep repeating that. Like
that's really the one they're worried
underlined.
about.
Yeah. Created in a laboratory setting. In recent years, research programs involving chimeric organisms have become more prevalent. Human life is distinct and sacred, and research that creates an animal-human hybrid or transfers a human embryo into an animal womb or vice versa should be completely prohibited, and engaging in such unethical experiments should be a crime, said Senator Braun. So Senator Braun is the one who's very upset about this.
So to me, this is kind of like a no one meme where no one was asking, no one was talking about this, and now there's legislation to prevent it. And it's like, is there something that we need to know here?
Exactly.
Because the language gets very specific. Research that creates an animal-human hybrid or transfers a human embryo into an animal womb or vice versa should be completely...
Yeah.
Who's doing this?
Yeah. Where is this happening that we didn't know about? So... again, Senator Braun is feeling very, very passionate about this. I have a clip here from the Senate floor, the hallowed institution of the United States Senate, the sober second thought, they sometimes call it, a upper chamber of the House. Many different names you could truly name it, but right now it's the epicenter of chimera research
the government's
illegality.
Kind of a chimera. It's got two houses that are brought together into one.
Whoa, that's good. That's poetic.
So these guys are hypocrites.
Yeah, I want to hear what Senator Braun is saying on the floor. Let this be known to the U.S. Library of Congress that this is important words he's saying.
In recent years, research involving human-animal hybrids has become much more prevalent.
I just said that.
For example, in April, researchers in China created a monkey-human hybrid embryo that they allowed to grow and study for weeks. I have serious ethical concerns with this type of human chimera research.
Okay.
There's so many people talking in the background.
My amendment
they're all talking over
by
Dane.
applying the NIH's current...
They're like, what the fuck is that guy talking about? He's like, I think he's drunk.
By applying the NIH's current anti-chimera policy universally. Due to the dangerous and offensive nature of this research, my amendment imposes penalties on those that participate in this unethical research. We must act now. Just this morning, the International Society for Stem Cell Research, an international standards-setting body, issued guidance that permits the creation of human-animal hybrids. I ask that my Senate colleagues reject this foreign position and maintain our own NIH's ethical standards. All life
Our
is
American
sacred.
values.
It is Congress's responsibility to enact common sense
Senator's time has expired.
bioethics.
Nice.
Senator, shut the fuck up, please. Shut
Okay,
up.
so-
Shut up. We're very bored with you right now.
Please shut the hell up. Yeah, this is so funny.
I'm
Our
kind of
American
torn.
values are under attack.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. On the one hand, it feels like the Democrats are sort of twiddling their thumbs and playing, cards in the background while this hero stands up for a really important ethical issue. But then on the other hand, like he's kind of just trying to shut down the party happening over in China and saying like,
know.
we can't do that, but we shouldn't do it because they're doing it and that's bad.
Right. China's eating our lunch right now. Why aren't we competing on the forefront of chimera research? We should be beating them. We should become the nation first in chimera research. We should be creating organisms that have 3-4 different organism components.
Yeah, and we should be. They only let the embryo grow for a few weeks. We should give it a full life. Let it.
A name.
See what happens.
He said all life is sacred. All life is sacred, and then it's like, okay, just a few weeks. We're messing with this cool new thing that you created.
Right.
So
to
we
play
want to
devil's
say
advocate, a chimera has more life in it than just a regular organism.
Yeah.
It's only one thing.
we want to say chimera lives matter, and he's saying all lives matter, and we're saying
right, exactly.
yeah, like,
yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in April of this year, researchers at the Salk Institute in California, we all know
Jonas
Salk, right?
Yeah.
Jonas Salk. Great
great
recording artist. Created a human monkey chimeric embryo by injecting human stem cells into embryos from long-tailed macaques. The human cells survived within the monkey embryo and generated additional cells. The researchers noted that all 132 macaque embryos injected with human cells still contained human cells 7 days after fertilization.
So they're saying that it worked. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like,
exactly.
if the cell, you know, if whatever, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. But if it does fit, then you must not acquit. And we must not quit when the cells fit.
There we go.
Thank you, Johnny Cochran.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow, that was really nice. That was really nicely done.
Yeah. So the chimera creation formula. This is a link that I believe John has found for us. It's It's from Mythical Bestiary Wikia.
Yeah.
Unsure what that means.
This is on the Tor browser, by the way. This is very secret stuff.
Yeah.
This is underground stuff.
So
this
the
is
chimera creation formula is the magical formula that people use when they want to create a truly unique pet, livestock, etc.
So we're talking about the etc. here.
Yeah.
Which
exactly.
is
That's
kind
what
of
Braun is talking about.
A macaque-human hybrid, which might be useful in certain ways. We don't know what kind of attributes they have as full-grown beings. We don't know what the ups and downs are, what the pros and cons are.
I mean, I can kind of sympathize with Braun. I mean, it's like, okay, we don't know what's going to happen when we start, doing chimera research full time and we really start cracking into it. Who knows what'll come out of it, right? But this is, again, we don't want to be left behind. We don't want to be, on the other side of the chimera gap in the international community. And probably maybe what we should do is amend this amendment and make it ban only scary chimeras. So like lions with snake tails or eagles with again, more like snake tails and stuff like that.
We do
anything with snakes probably should be banned. But the scary chimeras, ban those.
Do a jury of 10 people, and then if the majority are scared by the sight of the chimera, then we kill it immediately. But if they're not scared, then we let it live.
Yeah. It's like Groundhog Day. It's like if they comes out and we're okay, we're not scared by the shadow of the chimera, it's like, okay, well, we can live with this new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do that on the Senate floor. That would be great. I think that it would be exciting to watch chimera die or live on the Senate floor, much like many of the elected representatives there. One thing that I immediately thought of, it really takes me back to the early 2000s under George W. Bush and the stem cell issue, very similar. And I remember that there were many groups against the stem cell research. And this is, you know what? These are the same groups that are endorsing this amendment. We've got the Family Research Council, March for Life Action, National Right to Life. These are all,
Right to Life
names that I don't believe. Yeah.
Right.
Senate Pro-Life Caucus, Susan B. Anthony list, which I didn't know she's keeping a list. I didn't even know she's around, to be honest.
You're on the list.
Yeah. The U.S. Council of Catholic Bishops.
Oh,
that's a cool
those people,
organization.
those trustworthy individuals.
Yeah.
They don't
the
want
white
new chimeras. They've got enough young beings to entertain themselves with.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And the last one here is the White Coat Waste Project. So just, a quick tiddly tap of the keyboard, and I found out that Senator Mike Braun is a Roman Catholic himself. I believe that this is really playing into his decision about the chimera, whatever.
I mean, look, this has been an age-old issue. Catholics have been scared of lions with scorpion tails since the 800s. And this
Protestants
is something
aren't.
that he brings with him to the government.
Yeah, well, I know that this is not a political podcast, and we try to stay out of the political world, but we've been asked to take a stand.
Okay.
By Susan B. Anthony list has asked me to take a stand.
Are we going to come out and
I'm
put our
taking a
position
stand.
forth?
I know what my position is.
We are very pro chimera.
Yeah.
My position is I'm pro chimera, but specifically because the development of the chimera is an important step towards us imitating as closely as possible God itself. I think we approach our godliness the more that we develop these chimeras, and that's the road we're on. I would change it if I could, but we're headed towards godhood, so we've got to stay the course.
Right.
And
Might as well just lean into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an official. There'll be a press release from us.
That's the Blue Men Group stance there. Yeah.
Yeah,
and we follow the party line. Ron and myself will. Yeah, to the letter of the law, follow Devin's opinion there.
The road to godhood.
And here's a sort of, and it's a sort of a callback to the last story. Senator Braun is sort of, he's at the NASA control panel in the government, and he's like sending a message out to all the chimera researchers in the world, saying, "Come back in,
come back in."
And the chimera researchers are saying, "I'm coming back in," and it's the saddest moment of my life.
That is good. If only Ed White could hear that, he would have loved John. He would have loved that.
Thank you.
Dev, all right, you want to take us to our next story here?
If Ed White could have heard this next story, I think he would have been overjoyed, even more so than he was when he was out spacewalking. I think if they told him this news when they brought him back in, he would have been consoled, I think.
Yeah.
A 2-year-old from California is the youngest American to become a member of MENSA. A Los Angeles toddler, 2 years old, has become the youngest American member of MENSA, where membership is strictly limited to those who score at the highest levels in IQ tests. Kashi Quest may be a 2-year-old, but her skills, including naming all of the elements on the periodic table, identifying all 50 states by shape and location, learning Spanish, you don't know Spanish, and deciphering patterns, according to her parents. So we've got
deciphering
a 2-year-old.
Patterns?
The next genius. Really the next Stephen Hawking, the next Albert Einstein.
A baby Einstein, if you will.
Yeah.
Yep.
And her name is Kashi Quest, and watch out for her. She's coming for you for your job. She's gonna change
for your
everything.
job. Yeah.
She's always shown us more than anything the propensity to explore her surroundings and to ask the question why. Kashi's father Devin told CNN.
Hey.
So that's my name. Weird.
Yeah. Are you?
I am Kashi's father. No, I'm not.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
if she doesn't know something, she wants to know what it is and how does it function. And once she learns it, she applies it.
I feel like every new parent is saying this about every 2-year-old.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're always asking why. They're so curious about the world.
She's so curious. Yeah, she wants to learn Spanish, and but naming all of the elements on the periodic table, that's pretty advanced.
That is quite
I don't
impressive.
think
That is
I
weird.
asked why
But
a
she
lot,
doesn't
but I
know what
didn't have any answers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very true.
but
I didn't learn
also,
anything.
I don't think she can name all of the elements, but does she know what they do?
Yeah, does she know how to use them in a laboratory setting to
Can
create
she
a
make
mythical,
chimeras? Yeah.
chimerical?
Yes, exactly. Thank
Not
you,
yet,
guys.
but
Thank
this
you.
may be the kind of what's his name, the Terminator kid.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, the
Edward
Terminator
Furlong.
kid of chimeras, where she's super
Right.
smart. We're learning about chimeras. It's early days, but Cassie Quest is going
my
to
God.
become the sort of figurehead of chimera research.
Well, hopefully we'll get to some other stories later in the episode, but I'm just going to say right now, I really hope that there are no like robotic murdering machines that operate on their own behest to kill,
Yeah,
political
me too.
enemies or whatever.
Me
That
too,
would be
because Cassie
terrible.
Quest would probably just like
Be in the
pump that
crosshairs,
up,
yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
that is. Yeah. So her
Yeah.
family said that as soon as Cassie said her first word, her skills developed rapidly. Soon she was speaking in sentences that contained 5 or more words.
Okay, I did that too.
Yeah, but probably
well.
not as well as she did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you still, even now to this day, Ron, you really mumble through a lot of those.
It's true.
Through their daily observations, it struck the family that their daughter might be advanced for her age. Once her pediatrician also acknowledged it. At her 18-month checkup, I had to let her know where Cassie was on her number, shapes, and colors, and wanted her perspective on all of it. And she said it was amazing. It's something worth looking into, Cassie's mom, Sukshit, told CNN. So they decided to take her to a psychologist who administered the MENSA test. The result, Cassie had an IQ of 146, according to her parents.
Whoa.
Pretty solid number.
I'd like to see the official results, because
Transcripts?
that seems to
Yeah,
be
me
only
too.
from her parents.
I would
and-
love to, all 3 of us also take the Mensa test.
Yes, I would
See
love
where we
that.
stack up against this
Yeah.
2-year-old.
To join Mensa, applicants must score at or above the 98th percentile on a standard intelligence test. So that's very, very tough stuff, hard to accomplish, I guess, especially if you're a toddler. I think the biggest takeaway from us doing it was we wanted to make sure we were giving her everything she also needed in terms of her development and natural curiosity and her disposition. And we wanted to make sure we did our part in making that happen for her mother said. So again, yeah, that's good parenting. The
Really
family
encouraging
focuses the family focuses on Cassie's progress and tell her that they are proud of her progress when she gets frustrated doing a task. In return, Cassie displays her emotional intelligence by also encouraging them.
Wow,
Oh
double
my
threat.
God.
She's also emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, this is so she's not even just like a kind of
A brain, yeah.
a kooky, like geeky genius that is like bumping around in a scientific
Right, a
laboratory.
bumbling genius, yeah.
Yeah, she's like incredibly emotionally astute as a 2-year-old.
This is a great example of how emotionally astute she is. Yeah, go ahead and read this.
Yeah, Devin, her father, says, if she sees me trying to open a jar of pickles, she'll come over and say, "Dad, I'm so proud of you." No word on whether the father successfully opened the jar of pickles.
Yeah,
but-
Yeah,
I don't know if
exactly.
I don't know if that speaks to incredible emotional intelligence.
She's
Yeah.
belittling him.
Yeah,
She's like, he's a
She's
grown
exercising.
man
Proud of
who
you,
opened.
Dad.
Yeah, she understands sarcasm on a very deep, deep level at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. She's extremely sardonic. She's like a cat skills comedian in like the 40s.
Another way they have encouraged Cassie's progress is through the creation of a preschool. Sukyat has a background in education, and between working with Cassie at home and a need created in their community through the pandemic, the modern schoolhouse was born.
Oh
She's-
God.
So the mother says she's still 2 at heart, and she needs to be with children her age and not have that pressure put on her to be older than she needs to be or act older than she needs to be.
Well, then don't
She
give
is
her the
too.
the Mensa test. Stop.
Yeah,
her.
I know.
Stop trying to make her. Stop trying to make her into like a 55-year-old man. Just let her like. Let her just watch the pickle jar that needs to be open and doesn't need to be publicized. Like, give Cassie a break. Come on in, Cassie.
With such an advanced child, Cassie's parents say they don't communicate any differently with her. However, they are learning to be intentional with their words and with their communication, since she can keep them accountable for what they say. She does that by repeating it back to them.
Oh my God. She's like a court stenographer. They're like walking on eggshells constantly trying not to contradict themselves.
These parents are like living in fear. The mother, Suki, it says, it has taught us patience in order to communicate with her, and we are very conscious of the words we use with her and how we explain things. It has definitely taught us how to be better communicators with each other and collectively as a family, because we all have to be on the same page.
By the way, this is referring to like when they like misspeak about like a state or one of the periodic elements or something in Spanish and they get it wrong.
Yeah.
And she corrects them and calls them an idiot, you know?
This 2-year-old is parenting these parents at this point.
Yeah.
Which is frightening to think about. Even though they want to encourage her learning, all of her skills are at her own pace. Kashi sets the tone and dips her toes in whatever topics she wants to learn, they said. She also will mirror skills back to her parents. The mother said, in terms of raising a child, you want to give them these skills and this growth mindset to become that strong individual. Well, I don't think she needs any help.
I feel like she will also mirror skills back to her parents. I'd like to see this 2-year-old girl open a pickle jar.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's prove it.
Show us some physical strength. So
that's the only reason she's proud of. Sorry, that's the only reason she's proud of her father opening the pickle jar, is because she doesn't have those physical skills yet. But she, in her mind, she's like way beyond him, and she's like, "I'm so proud of you for using your, fine motor skills that I don't quite have yet."
Yeah,
I imagine that Kashi wakes up very early, like well before her parents, and her parents are just laying in bed, like terrified of like what's going on outside of the room, because Kashi's like up to like addition, subtraction, like there's all sorts of shapes happening and colors and Spanish and they're like, I don't know what today. What did we say yesterday? I said a few things last night.
She's blasting Beethoven or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, Kashi,
exactly.
Do you want your soother? And it's like, no, father, I don't need it anymore.
Open that pickle jar, daddy.
Why don't you go in the kitchen and struggle with that pickle jar for the next 4 hours while I do groundbreaking chimerical research?
Yeah, you primitive man.
You sophisticated beast.
Well, John brings up a great point. I think we should consider, all of us should consider taking the MENSA test.
We definitely need to do it. Although I gotta say, the fact that there's a 2-year-old in the MENSA thing kind of, to me, proves that it's BS.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Totally. That's
if your club has a 2-year-old in it, I feel like, come on. Unless it's a club of 2-year-olds, unless it's like an after-school like latchkey program.
Yeah,
unless you're in a treehouse, like
the MENSA meeting in the treehouse club.
You're like a 60-year-old guy that's like proud of being in MENSA. It's like, oh, I've had a long career. I have a really high IQ. I'm in the MENSA club. We meet up on weekends, in the city. And then
So
it's like suddenly there's a toddler that's part of the group. And it's like, Kashi Quest busts down the door like the Kool-Aid man. Is like, I'm here. You have to hang out with it. Yeah, it's like, I guess we'll change her diapers for her while she's hanging out with us.
They're like, Kashi's just like, good job. Like, just everybody's opening up doors, and she's very proud of everybody. So yeah, it seems as though the MENSA test is extremely easy to pass, very easy to get high grades, because 2-year-olds are doing it. Kashi Quest, probably the coolest / most annoying 2-year-old that we've come across in this show. But this is definitely somebody we're going to be keeping an eye on, just in terms of what the trajectory of her life will be. We like we said, could be in some research facilities, maybe outer space. Senator Braun doesn't want anybody doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, Kashi, good luck. We're keeping our eye on you.
It'll be interesting to see where she develops, as maybe like a Christ-like figure, a savior type person, and the burgeoning technology of like the new world and everything. And there's all these different strands of technology developing alongside her as she ages, and
I know. She's probably going to see things that we don't see just because of her extremely high IQ. And one thing that I think she could help us with, John, is finding Amelia Earhart. We've talked about Amelia Earhart before. I said we're going to keep an eye on that situation. I've got some somewhat breaking news. Amelia Earhart's plane possibly found in the Nikumaroro lagoon. Excuse me.
Nikumaroro.
I've got some spittle coming out of my mouth. Okay, so
you're doing a really good job pronouncing things today. I just want to congratulate you for trying very hard.
For messing everything up.
Kashi
Okay.
Kashi's
I'm
proud
just trying to
of you.
encourage you. Yeah, exactly.
Good job, Mark. Yeah, as if right under our nose, an image suggesting Amelia Earhart's plane is submerged at the Taraya Spit in Nikumaroro Lagoon. Okay.
Nice.
Formerly known as Gardner Island.
Much easier to pronounce.
Oh, man. Okay. And believed to be the final resting place of the aviatrix. Never
Nice.
heard that word, but I love it.
I love it.
This slightly murky image, found in 2021,
Well, it's a
may
lagoon.
hold the location of the wreckage that's been hidden away in its watery grave for more than 8 decades. That means 80 years. Possibly in better shape than expected. It's actually like pristine condition. Though being in 2 pieces, never mind. The time capsule could hold the clues to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan's disappearance. Who?
Yeah, who's
Yeah,
Fred
Fred-
Noonan?
Who the
No
fuck
one
is
cares
that?
about the
I'm sorry.
co-pilot or
What is
whoever the other guy was. It's like Amelia Earhart and co crash and disappear.
Right? And
There's
the
only
rest.
one other person.
Yeah.
And friend.
And his name's Fred Noonan, which is close to no one. It's just like
Yeah,
Fred
no
Fred
one.
no
Fred
one.
no one. So yeah,
Amelia
so
Earhart and Human Shield disappeared on that big
in 2020, an object is discovered. What? Showing what may be a large piece of plane wreckage exhibiting angles. Get cashy on this one.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
That are curiously consistent in size and shape to some aircraft parts. Most likely a section of the wing, though not yet substantiated. I could substantiate that if they need. I know what a wing looks like. This possible wing portion, now known as the Taraya object, was found by Navy veteran Michael Ashmore on Apple Maps. How about that? More supporting evidence decades apart may show plane has been there ever since Amelia put it down in the lagoon. This is very official press release, by the way.
These pictures are showing plane.
Showing plane. Show plane.
Sorry. Yeah.
Coming in hard and severing part of a wing that settled adjacent to the main body of the aircraft. Her Lockheed Electra slowly sinking into the watery sandbank as tidal movements buried it. During further investigations of Gardner Island, a possible message in the sand was discovered by Robert Ashmore on Google Earth in 2021. Located on a lagoon beach, it could be seen from more than 5,000 feet up or on approach to I land.
This
Which
article
may
is
also
chock
suggest-
full of like typos and missing words and stuff like that. It's really, really bad.
I know.
So this is
Yeah,
not
sorry
all
about that.
Ron's fault.
This article went through
thank
the
you.
Bermuda Triangle before publishing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. The SOS. So they think that there was an SOS in the sand. I think that's what we're trying to say. It says this may suggest that the pair of aviators.
Wait,
You mean-
sunglasses were found?
just keep forgetting about Fred Noonan.
Yeah, the other
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
Amelia Earhart and
Actively trying to be
her
seen. Fred no one, though most likely being written too late for Navy search planes to see. The SOS messages would have been written large in clearings around the island.
Would have been.
What is this? What they just said that like it's 8 decades, 80 years. An SOS message like blows away in a week.
Or yeah, even in like a day. You know, once high tide comes, then it's just gone.
True.
In an hour.
And then we're talking
People
about
are saying they see it 85 years later. Come on. Our first and largest to date. Don't know what that means. This PR Newswire article is absolutely incredible. Amelia's radio call sign KHAQQ. Oh,
okay.
What?
Right.
Did
So
they
there
write
was
that
some
in the sand? Is that what they're?
Yeah, that she wrote cock.
Okay.
Cock in the sand.
Macaque. Yeah. there's people flying over. They're like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know what that means. If it said help, I'd help. But I mean, it says
keep flying.
Yeah, it's like, let's go. Michael and Robert Ashmore are two brothers on a mission to bring Amelia Earhart and her friend home by solving this mystery one clue at a time. Looking forward to conclusively bringing this to a close with the use of modern satellite imagery mixed with hard work. The clues are out there. We just need to see them. Visit their website, roadtoamelia.org, which I am going to right now.
Everybody pull up
this seems like we could,
roadtoamelia.org.
Yeah, these seem like we could or we could potentially like talk to these brothers, I think, about their findings. So they have a lot of blurry images on their website with circles and arrows pointing.
It kind of looks vaguely over some blurry images. It
kind of looks like
exactly the most
chimera. It looks
conclusive.
very. Oh, there's the K. There's the Chach just written in sand. Hey, we should make our own website with our own ideas about this because it seems pretty easy. Because they've just taken Google Map imagery or Apple Map imagery and then just said like, here's where it happened.
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to get a free trip to this place.
Yeah. Which, I'd love to go there too.
Okay.
So we'll stay on this beat. It's the story is not solved yet. Although there are good people out there trying their darndest.
Yeah.
Do you think Fred Nolan and Amelia Earhart had like a couple months at least on the island? Like living off of the land and like maybe they didn't like get along at first, but then slowly they were like came to like rely on one another. Maybe they fell in love.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe there was like an arc to it. It was like they hated each other, they fell in love, and then they fell out of love, and then they died. Because they eventually probably argued over the kach versus help.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
like,
SOS.
Help.
Yeah.
Why did you write kach?
S. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to anyone. There's like tons of helicopters flying over. They're just like, I can't see what that says. I don't
really
care.
hope we find this Amelia.
Yeah. Who's
some
that guy?
vandals have written kach
Yeah, they
on
see
the
Fred
beach.
Noonan or whatever, and they're just like, it's not Earhart.
That's
We gotta
not
keep
her.
going.
Yeah, that's some weird guy, I guess. But whatever. Anyway, let's keep flying. Keep looking.
Yeah, it was like there was only one. It was just Amelia Earhart. Right down there is a woman and a man, so they seem fine. They're good.
They've got each other.
Let's move along.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody should pull up Google Maps, Apple Maps, Bing Maps, Streetwise Maps, every single map figure, MapQuest,
Garmin,
satellite,
Nokia maps,
Garmin, Nokia, your dad's mapping,
The Road
book
Companion
by Jordan Peterson, Mind Maps, everything, every single map you can think of. Take a look at Nikumaroro Island and look for yourself, because I think we can solve this out before the Ashmore brothers. All right, let's move along. We have, wait a second. This is a new segment.
Mm-hmm.
It's the robotic villains of the week.
John, tell us about this scary development.
I know. I'm already on edge from the earlier stories. The Amelia Earhart story put me on edge, and then the Chimera spooky research also put me on edge, and now this from Business Insider: a rogue killer drone hunted down a human target without being instructed to. UN report says.
Oh God!
My God!
A lethal, weaponized drone, quote, hunted down a human target without being told to, likely for the first time, according to a UN report seen by the New Scientist.
Oh, God.
In the March 2020 incident, a Cargo-2 quadcopter, never heard of that before, autonomously attacked a person during a conflict between Libyan government forces and a breakaway military faction led by the Libyan National Army's Khalifa Haftar, the Daily Star reported. the Turkish-built Kargu-2, a deadly attack drone designed for asymmetric warfare and anti-terrorist operations, targeted one of Haftar's soldiers while he tried to retreat, according to the paper.
Oh, God.
Yeah. This is reminding me of, the initial stages of the fabled James Cameron franchise, Terminator 2, T3, Rise of the Machines, and I think there's a fourth one.
The sort of the kicker here, the important detail, the drone, which can be directed to detonate on impact, was operating in a, quote, highly effective autonomous mode that required no human controller, the New York Post reported. The lethal autonomous weapon systems were programmed to attack targets without requiring data connectivity between the operator and the munition. In effect, a true fire, forget, and find capability, the report from the UN Security Council's panel of experts on Libya said. So, to me, the headline...
It was in offline mode?
Yeah, right. It was in Don't Bother. It was in Do Not Disturb. A rogue killer drone hunted down a human target, but then the key portion here is without being instructed to, and that's the fearsome detail here. Not that people are being killed by drones all over the world, but that there's no kind of like half asleep guy in a control room that's like sort of pushing a button every once
who's responsible
in a while.
or whatever. Now it's just a robot that's become so good at killing that it's like a John Rambo figure, and it does it without even like thinking before pulling the trigger.
Yeah, it has a thirst for it now. It can tell what it's doing. It's sentient.
Yeah. Well, and then this article is very like there's a lot of like color text in here because they keep repeating this is likely the first time drones have attacked humans without instructions to do so. Zach
People
Callenborn,
are shrugging their shoulders, looking at each other. They're like, I don't know.
Said Zach Callenborn, a national security consultant who specializes in unmanned systems and drones. Callenborn has concerns about the future of autonomous drones. How brittle is the object recognition system, he said in the report, which we could also refer to as object permanence, which Kashi Quest has like aced that test.
Yeah.
How often does it misidentify targets? Does everything, I'm now adding my own, but I'm assuming it just sees every human as a target now, if it's just killing like indiscriminately. Jack Watling, a researcher on land warfare at the Royal United Service Institute, told the New Scientist that the incident demonstrates the urgent and important need to discuss the potential regulations of autonomous weapons. Human Rights Watch have called for an end to so-called killer robots, and it's campaigning for a preemptive ban on the development, production, and use of fully autonomous weapons, according to a report by the nonprofit. So this is sort of a like choose your destiny kind of story. It's like, are we going to put all of our money in researching chimeras which can kill, or on robots that can kill?
Well, and these drones that kill without being instructed to are not our heroes in the armed services that do the hard work every day by killing people around the world, and doing it for reasons that we don't really understand and maybe we don't really agree with. We don't really know, but they're just killing people all the time.
The individual soldiers probably aren't really thinking about like why they're doing it, or like if they should be. They're just sort of like just pulling the trigger because there's like a vague sense that like they're supposed to. Maybe they don't have written permission for every individual target.
But sometimes they kill, and they're heroes for that. Yeah, they're heroes.
It's too complicated for us.
They don't ask questions. That's the thing about a soldier. You just follow orders, even though they're very vague. Even though sometimes you do the wrong thing, you kill a few people you're not supposed to, But the real problem is these drones that are killing without being instructed to, because they're not us. They're something else. They're a robot, and so it's very different.
Yeah, it's bad when someone kills without being told to. It's bad when someone kills without being told to and doesn't feel bad. That's even worse. And so a robot that kills without being told to and doesn't feel anything. That's the worst possible thing ever.
The most horrifying thing. We can't court martial. We can't we can't do life in prison. We can't
court martial the algorithm.
Yeah, you have to.
But you know what?
No,
you don't have to pay him a pension, so that's why we like him.
Oh yeah. You just take him apart and problem solved for now, until they learn to reassemble themselves, either on their own or with the help of collaborators, chimeric collaborators that don't have the same allegiance to the human race as regular humans do. They feel apart, they feel othered, and they could very well take the side of these autonomous machines.
It'll be cool when our two creations, killer robots and chimeric rejects of humanity, team up to take down their evil creators in a war that will be fought, actually probably by Akashi Quest as the human defector.
Yes.
And sort of like redeemer of humanity. In about 25 years.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Paradise Lost.
Totally.
The all-powerful, omnipotent creators are, sort of bum-rushed by the rejects.
Pandemonium.
Just let it be known that famous Catholic Senator Mike Braun will be doing blessings on drones, and he'll be baptizing a few of the drones later.
Oh no, Mike! Don't put water on the.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no, they're going crazy.
It's shorted, Mike. Okay. Yeah. So that is a true robotic villain. I honestly was looking towards the sky the whole time you were reading that, just kind of keeping guard, so to speak, because I was unsure of what that was above me. Turned out to be a bird.
Well, my eye muscles are trained at spotting like planes in blurry pictures and faraway locations. So now I'm like looking
perfect.
Up, trying to find planes that are maybe going to take me out. Planes in the ocean that maybe someone was taken out. Maybe a time traveling robot took out Amelia Earhart.
Yeah,
that's true. These could all be. Yeah, these could all be possibilities that I could foresee. Listen, everybody, we are kind of coming in for a landing, so to speak. We're probably going to be landing better than Amelia and that guy that she was with. Can't even think of his name anymore. Who cares? But we're going to take ourselves to it's not a new segment. We do it every single week. It's this week's numbers. All right, gang. Well,
what do we got?
As we've said, we're at a different. We're not giving it a full week, right? We're giving it like a few days to settle here. So our numbers are a bit askew. As I said, we're doing. Listen, these are not excuses that I'm bringing up, but we are down 37%.
Oh my God, we're in an uncontrolled nosedive. Pull up, pull up.
We're in a bear market here. Yeah. Oh my, we're gonna crash onto et cetera island.
Is that a lagoon? Steer to the lagoon.
Yeah,
quick,
now is the time
Mr.
you should
Nobody.
be listening.
Yeah, push no one out of the
extra
plane.
weight. Yeah.
Fred, get the hell out of my plane. So like, listen, I'm not that upset with these numbers, but it's telling me, okay, we're down 37% over the past 14 days. That's not that great. We're missing our first week listens, but guess what? It hasn't even been a week. So that's why I'm not being so hard on myself and my co-hosts. But
I will say our first week listens were down from 31 to 32, but they're up from 32 to 33.
There you go.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well,
So
our high watermark, I think, on this show period was a few episodes ago. New Pathways, the episode New Pathways at the end of April, was the high watermark for the first month of listens. Since then, we haven't been quite able to, match that peak.
Something happened.
Something happened. Condor sovereignty, we did fairly well, but we're starting to fall apart here, ladies and gentlemen. And but in order to save ourselves, in order to steer the ship back in the right, or steer this plane back in the right direction, which is towards the sky, we need to get your help. We need you to reach out to the people that you did reach out to that listened for a few weeks and then they stopped listening, and tell them to start listening again.
Yeah, be like, I know you stopped. I can tell. I get an update on the numbers every week.
Yeah, it's only getting better. That's the thing. For us, we think it's going swimmingly. The number's not showing the same. But this is, listen, we've got well over 3,000 all-time downloads. That's huge. I'm very happy about that. That's something that I as a host, feel very proud of. Last 30 days, 668 downloads. Okay, that's a good month. It's the we're in a new month here. That's I don't want to do every single day. That's a lot of listens a day, let's just say, though. So I'm happy. but I know we can do better. So I would love if our dear listeners could just share this with their friends, family, pastors, senators,
if there are
children,
remote islands or lagoons, maybe you could broadcast an episode or two onto it just to check. Maybe fly a drone with a Bluetooth speaker over, and then play a couple episodes, and then maybe someone on the island will become, a regular listener.
Another thought: go get naked. Write Blue Men Group. Make sure it's big enough so people don't mistake it for Blue Man Group. Right, Blue Men Group
true.
podcast.
Yes.
On your stomach and on your back, and then
The URL, the
run onto
RSS
the
feed URL
field.
on your back.
Yeah, run into the field at a baseball game and get tackled and just whatever. You won't face very many charges. It'll just be public nudity or something.
Somebody will bail you out.
It will not be us,
Yeah.
but you will get help, I'm sure.
Yeah, it won't be us, but somebody definitely will bail you out. And yeah, listen, our geographical stats, United States still pulling through hard for us. Canada, I would like to see more. I understand it's a bit difficult right now.
9.99% of our listeners
let's get that up
are
to
from
10.
Canada. Can we get it up to 10?
Can we please just get it up to 10? It really hurts to see that. United Kingdom, 6.9%. Nice. We like that. Could be 10 though.
Could be 10. We would like to see every country be 10% of our listenership.
Yeah.
If possible. So listen, thank you so much for listening. This has been my pleasure, and I say that on behalf of my co-hosts.
Well, hold on. Ron, will you pull up the list one more time? Can we go see who's the dead last country?
Yeah, we need to see who's not pulling their weight. Unknown is
Russia.
not pulling their weight.
Well, we'll say Russia. There's one person in Russia who listens to the show.
Only
I'm
once
talking
a
to you
month,
right
though.
now.
Listen
Russia's
to every
a huge
episode.
ass continent. Or not continent.
You're in
excuse me,
Russia.
a
We
country.
love Russia. Yeah.
Download more episodes. Listen to a few more. And then, listen, I know you have friends in Russia. Mm-hmm. You need to be telling them. Because I see right here, there's only one listener, and I know it's you.
What are you, a hermit?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Show us you have friends. Come on, everybody. Show us you have friends, and let's get these numbers up.
All right, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.